So today's last speech is about to begin, and it's my pleasure to introduce our last speaker, Mr. MASUI. And he's the CTO and co-founder of Toledo. And at this time, he's gonna talk about Rails loves React. Let's welcome him.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Today I talk Rails loves React. At first, introduce myself. I'm Yuichiro Masui. My handle name is Masui Drive. Most of my Japanese friends call me the programmer. My programming is my favorite, and my most one is from in the hot spring. Um, so I played it together. I'm writing code in the hot tub every day. This Photos MacBook is regular MacBook. This one is the same one. So, so sorry. I'm not. If you have a question of this section, please tweet to the @Masui Drive. My hearing skill is horrible. So if you have a question, tweet with @Masui Drive. Now, introduce myself. I'm a Torita company's CTO. It's a restaurant table management system delivery through the iPad. My company has a Taipei office, but this office is sales only. And I released some open source software and contribute to the MRuby. And I really love the Taiwan. Probably I came to Taiwan several times, maybe over 10 times. I love Taiwan food, people, culture. And the second time to join us, talk in the Taiwan Ruby conference. So today's topic is Rails loves React. How many try to use the React.js? Or the most of half. And how many use the React in the production in your business? Almost the same. Half people use React and use in the production. React is a JavaScript library for the building the user interface. And this application is open source, but based on company Facebook. And Facebook has trouble with license last year, but they relicensed to under the Meet. This library uses many huge companies: Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, Airbnb, Twitter. Very big site using React.js. I feel React.js programming model is similar of the server side, including Rails. Regular web application browser make request to the Rails server. This gray area is server side Rails process. Browser make request, open the page to the make request to the logic. Logic calculate something, load the database, and make displayable parameters through the @params and generate HTML through the ERB template. Return to the browser HTML. It's a one direction browser logic. Return to the browser. In React, very similar data flow. Browser make event on submit or input a character. Received this event on the client side logic. Client side logic make application state. It's a similar of the @parameter. And generate HTML through using a JSX and return to the browser. This direction is one direction only. This programming model is really similar with server-side programming. So easy to understand server-side engineer. But this, if you want to rewrite a part of screen, that cannot be done. So it's necessary to rewrite everything. However, this is a performance problem with this. But Virtual DOM will be solved it. Why do I choose React.js? I think 5 years ago, classic browser accepted user action event only, like a mouse event or a keyboard input event only. But modern browser support many input source, keyboard, mouse, and camera, audio, web RTC, web Bluetooth, web socket. Many features has input source. But it is impossible to properly manage this with existing programming model. And DOM is a large global variable. Global variable is must be removed. So React removed the DOM manipulation. Rails and React is some people make React and Rails jam, and one is Webpacker. This is official Rails official jam from the Rails 5.1, and installed React by myself. And Rails React jam, it is a React side official jam to the Rails connector, and unofficial gem is React on Rails. Now, probably who use Webpacker? Very few people only. So Webpacker is an official Webpack wrapper on the Rails. Webpack is JavaScript build toolchain, but JavaScript and CSS build toolchain, but too complex. Very hard to understand and very following the version up. So Webpack is so horrible. Then I recommend to use. I recommend to stop to use Webpacker. So how can we use Rails and React together? I recommend to make a separate development environment using a Docker. Who's use Docker? Oh, and a half. Yep. I highly recommend to use Docker, make a Rails application. And Docker has Docker is a container of Linux container. So I make two containers. One is a React development environment container, and the other side is a Rails development container. I edit a file. One is a JavaScript file. So the React container notify to the React container. React container read the host file systems JavaScript file. Compile and store to the host file system. Ruby server process read compile the file and serve to the browser. This container is separated, not communicate with each other, but host file system is common. And as two containers Docker file, the one is a Rails side Docker file. It's install Ruby and Ruby on Rails. And the other side, React side Docker file is install using Node 8 and install the package through the yarn and connect with the host file system. This approach has a pros and cons. This approach's pros is not need special gems like Webpacker or Rails gem, React gem, official gem, official gem, and not need to configure Webpack. But this approach's cons is the need to install the understanding Docker and cannot call cannot call the ERB helper method from JavaScript. And most pain of the React beginner had to make a development environment, understanding Node.js and build system like a Webpacker or React and dependency choice and configure build system. But some people release the React.js boilerplate or bootstrapping application, and I highly recommend to use Next.js. Who's know Next.js? Very few people. Next.js is React.js bootstrapping tool based on React and Babel. The Babel is transpiler and the Webpacker is a wrapping. Their configuration setup it's like a COC and development server included and hot loading supported and generate static JavaScript and pages and server-side rendering and support ECMAScript 7 is a very new one. ES7 has a very good feature async and await. If you don't know this feature, please search in Google. And most of next, the best point of these contents. If you have interest in the JavaScript or React, please search learning Next.js. It's a tutorial of the making application with React. Very good contents. Now this is the Next.js coding demo. Next.js needs only one file and each URL. Then index.js make a pages directory and index.js. They put 3 lines, import React and define the method. And this Next.js is support hot loading. Change the file, automatically change the HTML. This code is with the JSX, so JavaScript can contain the HTML tag. So export, define the default function, return the div element. and make a tag, link tag. So jump to the about page. So about page is not found. URL is about. So we need to make a new file under the page directory. The new file is about.js. Yes, it's about.js. So copy from file and change HTML part. Now currently this page is blank to new assigned to the new page. This is this one file is one directory. It's a very similar to the PHP. Easy to understand. React.js, Next.js is provide client-side routing and server-side routing. So easy to make a simple application. The good point of the Next.js is a very thin framework and very thin, very good build toolchain. So Next.js is provide React.js only, not include data flow framework like Redux, MobX, and other library. You can choose your favorite. And include server-side routing like a PHP and hot loading supported. How to combination Rails with Next.js? I recommend the first step. Use React for the form validation only. Most of React most of case React used for the single page application, very big, the complex application like a Facebook or Airbnb, Twitter. But React is very good useful without single page application. The ordinary sign up form has a 3 element: username, password of confirmation field, and form validation, and post to the server using regular post method used on form element. This code is This code is the same as last demo. Return to the hello Taiwan only. I missed. I wrong slide. So this this slide is display hello Taiwan only, and I make a form on the React index.js file. This is same as regular HTML form action to the something URL, and input username, password, and type password, and the name password confirmation, and bottom is submit button. If you open the browser, it's a regular ordinary sign up form. And I add form validation to this code. At first, define the username state. It's like palms. It's a displayable variant in this page, and put value is the same as this variant, and sorry, this and on quick note on change this element changed set to username close. Then open the browser, but cannot input. I mistype. On quick note in on change. If you change the input this area, update the state changed and display the new value, and the validator user error is a blank. If username length and 3 characters, set error message username must be these 3 characters, and display user error barrier. So this form is real-time validate. If under 3 characters, show the error message. If over 3 characters, disappear error message. But it is very understanding this code. Input character to the form. This React system called this method. The set state username state set form value to the username state. Username state changed. After that, code render method automatically. So validate and make a new HTML that display to the browser. React is most of people React image is for the single page application, but I think React is very useful when you don't use XHR fetch and other input source. If you have tried to use React, I recommend to use the form validation, the real-time validations, and how to pass the parameter, Rails parameter, ELV to the React. One is make a new REST API, and the other one is add a parameter to the header meta tag and read from JavaScript. And if you want to make a more complex application, Redux is popular in the React. But Redux is programming model or rule rather than framework. Redux is under 2 kilobytes, very thin framework. And about Redux, there are many articles in the world, so please search and read it. So conclusion, Rails and React can get along. Most people misunderstanding React is not for single page application. And if you use React and Rails, enforce role separate. In my company, some application using React and Rails, it is very good for the role separation. Rails side is provide web API only. The Rails engine focus to the logic and API, and the Rails application is easy to test. It's very testable application. My company is main code coverage over 90%, but very hard to test on user interface side. React provide to UI. This is front-end engineer side. Very easy to combination Rails engineer and front engineer. And evolution of the user interface is faster than server side. So separate is very good for each other. Now, that's all. If you have a question, please send message to my Twitter. Thank you. And I read my Twitter. Now, which one is better? Apply Redux and MobX. I feel both is not good. Both is a little hard to understanding. But my Redux has very big user base and very too many articles. So if you have start using React, I recommend to use Redux. If you have love the new one, or if you love the make, if you have search or search new one, I recommend to use the MobX. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So let's thank Mr. MASUI again.
Thank you.
Okay, today's speech is over in this auditorium, so there is still another speech in the 1001. Okay, thank you very much.